Do you wake up in the morning and wonder if this is all that there is? If all of the time and energy, all of the effort, all the things you put together, all of the achievements and success has culminated in this place that you are like, is this all there is? And super successful woman, you maybe laid out your dream job, dream corporate path, and got there and went, I don't even know what my purpose is. If any of that resonates for you, then hi, my name is Jennifer Zenzolson, founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness, and I'm a purpose coach and expert. And what I do is work with women just like you who are in a space of trying to make sense of how they kind of got where they are. And in our work together, what we do is we get clarity about how did you get here? And how can we help you reconnect success and purpose? So it's not one or the other. We're not giving one up for the other one. And we kind of reignite the fire for your passion to do these things. And so that's what I do. And what I want to really share with you is in all of my years of clinical social work, one of the biggest areas or mistakes that I see people make is hanging on to things too long. So I just held a masterclass last night and we talked about this in there with this quote from Buddha, which is beautiful. And it's actually one of the most pivotal like game changer moments for me when I heard this quote for the first time, which is really that all of suffering stems from gripping and holding on to things. And that makes complete sense to me. And so when I heard it, I was probably about 40 when I heard it. And I was still doing my traditional psychotherapy practice. And I remember thinking, oh my God, when I looked back at not just my life, but that of my clients, I was like, yeah, this is a thing. This is for real. And so if you relate to that, let me know in the comments, because I would love to know, like, can you look at your life and say, yeah, yep. When I was holding on too tightly, whether it was a relationship, a job, old stories, belief systems you have, your doubts. We don't even mean to when we hang on to our doubts, right? So it's really one of those sort of like, for me, I don't know, maybe I'll beat me to the finish line in this idea, but I wanted to step right into that today. And so because some of the work that I do with women is really in diving into clarity around how they got where they are, where they want to go, and then how we're going to get there. And I talk a lot about lane changing because I believe that sometimes, well, I know in our path, my path, even in living in the purpose, we're going to have moments where we're going to need to find like a new way to kind of live into that, right? And so I wanted to just tap into that idea for everyone today and talk about it's this theme for this month has been super powerful in a way I honestly did not foresee. And I was just like, oh, I'll just, we'll talk about expectation and self-doubt. And like, so you lay it out and then you're like, oh no. So I got partway through and I was like, these are some of the things I talked about incessantly in my therapy practice. And so what I did was I created a book and it's an e-read. It's super quick, short, probably half hour of your time, literally. Like it's super short and sweet. Posted it on Sunday night, and right now it's sitting at number 1 in 3 categories, which I'm legit when I say I have no word. It's still, I feel dreamy. I don't know if you ever had this experience. I feel dreamy about it. So it's first in 1-hour self-help books. It's first in motivational self-help, and it's first in cognitive psychology. And so ridiculously grateful. Can I tell you, I literally worked on it all day on Sunday till about 10:30 at night, rushing to get it done for my masterclass. I wanted the women in my masterclass to be able to go and grab a copy because everything I taught sort of like puzzle piece together. And so super grateful it came to fruition because it was a pain in the ass. I'm telling you, getting that thing loaded was like no other. I had some beautiful friendship behind the scene, that someone who was super supportive. I mean, everyone's supportive, but like one of my friends, Jennifer, just did a solid. She's done this before, was like backing me the whole way, helping explain and explore and taking my calls and my texts. And so it has been a wild ride. So masterclass done last night. I'm showing up today like I'm like tapping into the marathon finish line on my hands and knees. Like, so I'm just going to tell you this is a whole new level of tired. Trying to get that book launched and then get that masterclass ready has been like all in, laser focus, and just blessed this week. And so I want to share that too, that just that sense of feeling completely blessed. No words for my gratitude and support, and over 700 people, I don't even know where it is, have downloaded it so far. That was yesterday. And so So I'm just super excited about it and grateful. And if you want a free copy, go get it. It's on Amazon. It's called Release: How to Start Letting Go. So it's a basic beginner. It's not some big deep seated. It's 36 pages long. It's intentional. And really what it is a culmination of all the stuff I was telling clients for over 20 years. I mean, so really, truly, it was like the same conversation I had on repeat. Like, this is why we do this, why do we do the work? This is how we do the work. And then of course, my added spirituality and energy work kind of thrown in there as well. It's honest. It's just like I talked to you here. It is not a science-based sounding book, if that makes sense. It's certainly science-based, but it's more like we're having a conversation. That's also intentional because that's what I want to read. So if you like reading really like dry, like research-based something, this is not the book for you. But if you're interested, please go get that free book. It's just sitting there waiting to be read and downloaded. So I welcome you to go grab that. So Release, this is what it stood for. So as I renamed it and gave it a new acronym, it was resolved to escape the layers of expectation and self-doubt to evolve. And so again, we talked about expectation, we talked about doubt, we talked about the old stories and belief systems we're carrying around, and it is a gigantic amount of work. So what I want to say is, while it sounds really simple to our ears, if you actually go and apply it, it's work. And so I also want to say that for the person that goes and grabs the book or starts doing this work, even whether you're doing this in coaching or psychotherapy or energy work, whatever you're doing, however you might be addressing these things, it's work. It's kind of no joke. And so I want to throw that out there to the people that are doing the work and give you just so much gratitude and grace and tell you that it does get easier as you do the work. And to remind everyone, and this is a really pivotal thing, so I hope you'll hear me say this, you will have to do this type of work over and over again. So before someone goes, oh my God, I'm done, peace out. I get it, right? Because it sounds daunting. But what I'll tell you is the beauty of this work is that as you do it, it lightens the load. Meaning, as we do it, as we get more comfortable, as we get in the habit of doing release on a regular basis, the easier and easier and easier the work becomes, and the less and less and less we're carrying this stuff that we used to. So that's the benefit of it, right? And so when I started psychotherapy and I loved the image, I used to get my, my whiteboard out and I would draw like the graph, right? The graph. And it looks like this. And then people had this idea that, they were going to come in and they were going to this was the trajectory of the graph, right? I'm just going to feel better. No, you're not. You're eventually going to feel better. And in the process, it's going to feel like this. I'm going to feel better, then I'm going to feel worse. I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel worse, right? So it's a lot of stops and starts and a couple steps ahead and then one step back and a couple steps ahead and one step back. That is the nature of psychological work always. So I gave this example last night in my masterclass of, one of the biggest traumas I've lived through in my life happened when I was 17. My daughter turned 17 this year. I knew it was going to be a trigger. I just knew. I'm like, it's coming for me. Stuff is going to circle back because it has a way of doing that. And sure enough, I did. And I did a lot of self-care. And because I was aware, I'm going to circle back to that if I can remember, because I'm so tired. Because I was aware, I knew to watch. So when things started happening and old stuff started percolating, I had money stuff percolate, I had family stuff percolate, I knew it. I went, oh, there it is. Oop, there it is. Oop, there it is, right? So I knew it. It was coming. And sure enough, there it was, bam, and could step more fully into grabbing whatever forms of self-care. I did a lot of energy healing with friends and other practitioners that I'm blessed to know. I did my own work. And so this is what we do. And so, but it isn't as painful as it was a long time ago, right? So each step we take in that progression means we're lightening that off. We're letting it out. We're releasing. And so here's the reason releasing is so important. Okay. So bottom line is when we release, we're making space for the new. So I want you to imagine that if you had a garden, it's one of the reasons we go weed. We make space for the new to come in. And if we leave all of the old detritus, right, the weeds and the grossness and the grass clippings and the shit's not going to grow. So we have to go in and we have to clean house. So releasing is cleaning house of the soul. And we have to do that in order to go in and do more work and continue to evolve, which is why that word is actually in that acronym I created for the month. And I really love this idea of the fact that we can evolve as people. I used to say development. Psychology is a lot of like language around like development. So as we develop, I'm like, nah, I like evolution better. Hello, Jacqueline. How are you? And so to me, it's evolution. And that's so much more powerful to me. Like that word, like I'm in a form of evolution. We all are, right? Get out of those weeds, right? Exactly, sister. So this is the work that we are all doing. And I said last night to my masterclass, there is nothing I'm asking you to do that I haven't done myself. Not one time. I have been to psychotherapy. I have done all the healing modalities. I'm good. Thank you, sweetheart. How are you? Seriously done all the things. We'll do all the things till I'm dead. Because I know they make a huge difference. And so I want to invite you into that awareness and insight. And again, I said early on, this is one of the biggest skills that we all can have. And again, it sounds super basic. I know how like, really like I need to know that I need to be aware, right? It just sounds stupid, but it's not. It's about going in and having a mindset of exploration and curiosity with your own journey, your own story. Your story is really freaking powerful. You carry it with you every single place you go. And in the book, I talk about the lens that we use. I've been talking about it forever. It's super hard. So, we have this lens we use and everything passes through it. And that lens is containing all of our stories, our perceptions, our ideas, our journey, the whole damn thing is in there. So everything that happens comes in through that, gets filtered with our stuff riding around, comes out the other side. You can imagine the complexity of having an experience come in, digesting it with our perception and stories, and then what it looks like on the flip side. I mean, that's a big deal. So my ability to show up really hinges on that capacity to be aware there's shit riding around with me. So for anybody that's like, oh, that's old stuff. That's great. Bless your heart. Trust me. My old stuff's in the past too. However, it'll come creeping right in sometimes when we least expect it. Right. So we really want to be super aware of ourselves and how we're showing up. Check yourself. Today, my gas tank, legit friends, empty. Like empty. I have discharged so much energy this week in the book launch of my masterclass. I'm sliding in. I'm like, what is happening? I need downtime. So I was going to get through my live today because I committed to being here and I wanted to be here with everybody. And then it's downtime. I need a hot minute. I'm exhausted. And I typically try not to burn my candle like I did this week, but that was just a strange anomaly. It all came together in whatever fashion it did. And here we are, and we're still in one piece, just needing some serious rest. But I really want you to imagine that self-awareness is the very building block and foundation of everything you're going to do. So if you do nothing else other than begin to work on that self-awareness, that's a huge key. And that's where we begin to look at those thoughts and belief systems. They're really weighty for us, truly for all of us. And so the more we know, we're like, and so you got a massage and it was horrible. Jacqueline, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not great. I want you to imagine that she twisted me like a pretzel. That's not great. I hope you told her. So I want to invite you in to just really kind of this mindset of growth and evolution, that you are a being in evolution. We all are. To give yourself the grace and time to do the work that you need and to incorporate release practices into your every single day journey. So I was going to ask my women last night, and Lord knows I was trying to clip along because I had slideshow and talking and stories, and I need to get to my meditation at the end. So I was trying to kind of get through my things. But I was going to ask everyone, do you have a release practice? So if you're listening today, do you have a release practice? Can you comment for me? Do you have a set of things that you do for yourself? I do them daily. I sage cleanse. I'm not kidding you, on a regular. I have this really cool protection spray that I bought when I was in LA at a really cool metaphysical store. I fell in love with this. I might end up recreating something along this line. So in case I don't want my whole office to smell like sage, I don't mind it, but it's a little like heavy, and it smells a little bit like, Mary Jane, just going to keep it real, and not super fan of that. So every once in a while I'll do that. I use incense. I cleanse myself, my stones, the space, my computer, my technology, I mean, everything, my room. And so I'm doing a really regular release practice of cleansing. And so I understand too that I want you to make that connection, which I didn't get I got a little bit of chance to kind of lob that into to last night. You're really cleansing. So release is also another word in my form of like energy work. It's cleansing your energy space. We can cleanse the chakras. We can cleanse, like, again, the energy field. You did burn sage. Good. That's awesome. That's such a good start, right? So the spray is great. Sage is great. Palo Santo is awesome. Incense is a really nice option. And then doing actual energy clearing like Reiki, like chakra work. There's all sorts of ways we can do this to go in. And what it's really doing is it's like cleaning up the things we pick up along the way, right? So if I'm going out, and we know we're all energy, hopefully we can all agree on this, go do some research. I swear to God, scientifically, we know we're made up of energy, period. Okay. So we just get to put that on the table. If I'm energy and you're energy, when I come into your energy field, I take a little bit of your energy with me, and vice versa. So we go out in public, right? We go to the Target. Anybody go to the Target? I have to go to Target. Okay. We're bumping into all kinds of energy. And so we'll kind of pull them in. We're not doing it like it's not an action. We're not like paying attention, like, oh, I want to nab a little bit of you. And no, we just walk off, and all of a sudden got a little bit of Sarah on me, and I got a little Matt on me, and I got a little whatever, right? Whoever we came into contact with for the day, we're taking it home with us. Unless we do some protective measures, which we're not going to talk about today. That's another whole layer of stuff that we'll talk about down the road. So I really want to say this. What'd you say? Palo Santo, incense, rose quartz, and meditation. But I need to keep working on doing it with intention. Yeah, we all do. That's beautiful. And I love, thank you, Jesus. You mentioned two things that are my fave. One is crystals, because I love them. And the second is meditation. So meditation is a super powerful tool to go in and use for release and cleansing our energy. Okay. So there's tons of meditations out there. So you want to lob into a meditation, find a good one, sit down. I love having a journal always for my meditations. I will be really clear. Even last night when we did ours, I encouraged my women to come back out and have like a piece of paper or journal handy. So you can go in, kind of jot some notes. There's really powerful things that can come through. What I want you to understand is, again, right, I said in the very beginning, the more we release, the more we make room for new. We're making space, okay? So if I go in and I do a meditation, when I create that space, guess what can flow in? Really great stuff. Truly, my meditation is one of the most powerful, like, rechargers that I plug into for creativity. Stuff comes flying in. If I'm making space, all of the things will come flying in. It's like magic. And so you can use crystals, you can use incense, Palo Santo, sage, all sorts of meditations out there, whatever floats your boat in that way, energy work. There's lots of really incredible tools that we can actually tap into to help us do this. And again, and I didn't used to do this. So I want to be really clear. I did not used to do this. And as I've aged and as I've come into more awareness about the energy work and how it kind of plays out around us and things like that, now I'm like on the daily, sometimes more than once in a day. And so I just really feel better when I'm creating space and wiping things away. And it's almost in some ways like not wiping away in a bad way, wiping away what we've already been through. So yesterday's done. It's symbolic. Yesterday's done. That moment, that breath, that's done. And I'm moving on from here, right? I'm going to focus in on the next right step, the next thing I'm going to do, right? So I want you to imagine that. And sometimes we're going to have to do it from one breath to the next, right? I talk about this a lot. And so giving yourself the room to begin again, really, really powerful. So if you're listening, I would love to know, I love, do you have a practice? What is your practice? How often do you do it? And that's really powerful. And I do love that you had mentioned, like, I need to work on doing it with intention. Like, I want to show up and I want to be like laser focused. That's what I'm doing. And so, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, well said. So go in with intention. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm actually going to release. I'm going to cleanse. I'm going to purify. I want to show up. Daily meditation. Yeah, Jacqueline, exactly. That's beautiful. So we just want to go in and have these practices on a really regular basis. And again, it took me till I was 46, 45, 46, somewhere in there to really develop a routine, not just like a I go to like a ceremony or a New Year's retreat and I'm like, I'm here. And I have like a year to like, not maybe how we want to do it if we can help it. Because man, so you want to think about two things. One is that practice is super important, daily routine practice. So I would just encourage you as much as you can. I get it. We all start somewhere. Okay. Yep. Ground in the earth. Yep. So grounding to the earth, here's what I would do. Here's my little mini practice. I would ground to the earth. I would anchor in. I would release. And every time you release, you want to bring goodness in. So that's the other trick. So if I go in and do a releasing practice or a purifying practice, the other thing I want to do is invite in healing, light, and love and energy. So I always do this because I always do it through the crown of my head. You do you. You can pull it up through your feet, through the crown of your head, through your heart space. Pick your battle, whatever you like best, right? Whatever your jam is, whatever resonates best for you, you're also going to want to pull in that healing, light, and love. So you're filling up the space, right? So we said we make space and then we're going to fill in the space. But when we fill in the space, it's with healing, light, and energy that's creating the canvas you want to paint your life on, right? So that's what you're doing. It's not, so when we're adding something in that way, we're just adding in the beauty to have a vessel that's going around in the world that's going to shoot out that nice energy to create healing, light, and loving, that energy, that creativity comes in and it looks like that, right? It's lovely. And so that's the reason we want to do that. So we release and then we bring it in. We release and we bring it in. So this is exactly what I did in my meditation last night with people in my class. We released and then we brought in some healing, light, and love and energy. Okay. We refilled the vessel full of goodness. So that feels really good. Like it will really revitalize you. So I also recommend that in conjunction. Okay. Today to end, and then if anybody's got questions, if you got comments, please, I see you in there. I'm so grateful you're here. Please say, hey, if you're just kind of watching, please say, hey, offer questions. Love, love, love questions. This last week of release was about the breath you've been holding. And what I was going to do is I was going to come in, do a breath practice. I actually did a little one in the vlog this week. So go back and catch it. Don't too tapped out today. I'm so exhausted. I'm like, we're just going to summarize today. So I was going to do a little breath practice. We'll come back around. We'll circle back and we'll do them anyway. For today, I want to address, though, that breath you've been holding. And I want to talk about it for just a quick minute, and then we're going to roll. So this week in Insight Timer, I talked about the idea of one, physically holding the breath, right? So this is why I addressed it. Okay. I'm going to invite you to have some self-awareness around your breath. And hey, Joni. And so for those of you that are like, I don't hold my breath. Yeah, you probably do. And, or you breathe shallowly. It's human. It's not, you're not broken. You're not damaged. Welcome to life. And so this is unfortunately one of the things that I found myself doing in grad school. And I've told the story a million times about being in the massage table, and the massage therapist says to me, she lovingly, you can take a breath. I'm like, first of all, I was like a little bit ragey because I was so stressed and irritable and out of sorts, where a cleansing practice might have been most beneficial. Hi, Chantel, how are you? Legit, I watched it in my office for a million years. Someone be talking about something distressing, and you could see the chest stop moving. Or little sips of breath. Not panting, but kinda. So we do this. We don't, it is it is not even happening with your awareness. And so there's this. So one is bringing awareness to the breath in general. Just watch and watch what happens when you're distressed. Because that's where that shit really shows up, like, whoa, like when you're stressed. And so, but the other thing is I want to talk about the notion of the things that are happening about when we hold the breath. So it's typically in a moment of high stress. It's typically in a moment where we're uncertain or scared, anxious. Anxiety is huge. And it's one of the components of an anxiety attack, a panic attack. right? Is that like chest getting tight, feeling like I can't catch my breath. The body goes into emergency mode. You're in literal survival mode. It's like, what's happening? Right. And our bodies are freaking out. And there's actually not necessarily something happening all the time. It can be an imagined experience, a memory. Our brains don't know the difference. Isn't that trippy? Our brains don't know the difference between what's actually happening. If I like just had a car accident or if I imagined I had one, your body does not know the difference. So it does its work just like for real. Having a bad dream, guess what your body does? Acts like it's happening. So it's kind of trippy because this is the magic and also a little bit of that like of our bodies. And so it's the reason why the breath is so freaking important. Like cannot emphasize enough. So tapping into having that breath practice so that you're not all of a sudden in a minute of panic going, "Oh my God, Jen talked about this and what the hell is that? I forgot," right? So trust me when I say that breath is everything. And when you are in anticipation, you will likely want to watch your breath. So when I was getting ready for my master class, friends, before I got on, I was literally, you're doing it with me. Somebody's doing it with me, right? Like tapping in, had my hand on my heart. I was just breathing. I was centering myself because I knew I was in anticipation. I was in a minute. I was preparing. It was a big deal. This is really important to me. I had people showing up that I really wanted to take good care of, and I wanted them to walk away with something. And so, right, pushing send on my ebook this week, right? I've had a lot of these moments this week. And so it's really like you just want to catch yourself and like, okay, lean into that. Like, what can I do to be in this moment? What watch for it. So give yourself the grace and space to know that this is not abnormal and that you get to be the boss. When I teach so much about being the boss of your energy, part of your energy field and clearing it is your breath. It's a direct link to releasing, right? On an exhale. I talked about that a lot this week. A lot of releasing on an exhale. I was doing coaching sessions with people. Releasing as we scanned up the body, we pressed anything not serving us out through the head. And we used the exhale. So I had them imagine exhaling up, pressing out, like you have the power to push it up and out, because you do. That's also a powerful part of energy work. Okay. And releasing. So the breath, huge. Meditation, huge. Using some of those medicinal, old school, right, things that have been around for a gazillion years, huge. So I want to kind of drop that in, that this practice is so much bigger than this month. So when I started it, it's like, this will be this great theme. And then I was like, oh my God, this is gigantic. Like I could have done this theme alone for like 3 or 4 months, honestly. Right. Had I been really like, foresight and all that, but I didn't. I got in, I went, shit, everyone needs to know this. And this is the stuff I was teaching people in my therapy practice for 20 years. So I wrote a book. So I wrote a book, I put it all in my book. And so anyway, so I want to throw that out there to you all so that you have that stuff to keep digesting, because we're moving into Thanks in November, which is super exciting. I'm going to be sad to see this go, only because this theme had a lot of juice. I mean, when I ask women, what are you hanging on to? I mean, like, I'm always amazed, a job, an old relationship, my old stories. I mean, you'll just watch it flow in, right? It'll flow in, all of us. And so really interesting that we do have, if asked, if invited to pay attention, we go, oh yeah, oh my gosh. I would want to know how to get your book. I would want to know that. Okay. On Amazon. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. If you go to Amazon and you look up my name, so if you have my actual name and you know how to spell it correctly, good luck. You can go find that. Otherwise it's Release, how to start letting go. Okay. And so of expectation, I keep forgetting to add that, how to start letting go of expectation, because that's one of the biggies for people. And it's one of the things that trips us up the most as human beings in relationships. It's brutal. So if you go in there, it's free. It's only free until Saturday. and I timed it for my masterclass intentionally, and I only get 5 days. And so for the next 5 days, you can go get that. And so please do, you guys, it's doing great. I feel ridiculously blessed. I hope you'll go grab that copy and read it, and leave a review, please, please. That's super important for Amazon to know that it's like a legit thing. And so people go in and make reviews. That's really super helpful. But it's a really beautiful base building book. That's what it's meant to be. It wasn't meant to be like, right. So I'm trying to talk about it. It was a Monday or Tuesday, did a live. I can't even, the days run together. And you guys, for the life of me, could not pull out the name of the book, Lord of the Rings. Could see the characters with the freaking sharp little ears, the elves and the little short people. And you guys, literally, I like people like laughing in the chat because I could see the big ass book and could not remember them. Like, it's Lord of the Rings. Oh my God. Later, I finally found, it's not Lord of the Rings. It's not going to be a scientific dry read. It's going to sound like you and I are sitting together having coffee. And it is the very same stuff I teach all of my clients and all of my coaching clients. I mean, it is, and educating groups and communities. So it's literally the same stuff. And it's a great way to have the sense of how I coach people, because that is how I coach people. And so if anyone has ever been interested in like, what is coaching like? That's it in a little nutshell. 36 pages, short and sweet. You could read it in half an hour. Okay. And so much gratitude for how that took off this week, and cannot even believe that it hit number one. It's ridiculous. I have no words. It feels fake. I feel surreal. So super grateful for everyone that went and grabbed that, and is joining me on that journey. I feel really, really blessed. So it is normal that we will have these experiences and that we want to have these practices of release. And so I strongly encourage you to develop a consistent way of going in, tapping into the breath, tapping into the energy. And here's what I'm going to say to really wrap up for today. I cannot emphasize enough. I was a clinician for over 20 years, and it is an area where people legitimately miss. I mean, I did. In some ways, there's a part of my heart that feels a little bit broken, that I wish I could go back in time for my clients and have that energetic wisdom, because I just wonder what would look differently. And so I really, truly believe that energetic work is as pivotal, sometimes in some ways even more pivotal than the talking and the thinking stuff. We need all of it. We need the psychotherapy, we need the coaching, we need, right? But I am telling you that going in and energetically, physically releasing, I want you to imagine it's all stuff you're carrying around in your cells. We know it. That's science. That's not me making some shit up. Okay. You start reading about energy. It is contained in our very cells. Your memories, your stories are contained in your cells. They carry energy. So we need to tap into that field to actually really heal ourselves. So it is a combination of all the stuff together. It's why I've talked about healing in layers for a million years. I talk about it like layer cake. You've all heard me say, combining all of the tools together is where we're going to have the greatest response. That's so pivotal. And so I cannot say enough. If you're not incorporating some energy work into your journey of healing yourself, you're likely missing some stuff that's going to be stuck. Does it mean you won't have an okay life? No, I'm not trying to tell you, oh, right, we're all going to be a big mess, but I will tell you that the state of showing up, having energetic work done, I feel like I lose 20 soul pounds when I do energy work. I mean it. And it happened the first time I went, and I was like, this shit's magic. What is happening? And it's hard to explain to anybody unless you ever go have it done. It's hard to explain. I feel clearer. I feel more focused. I feel more joy. I feel greater peace. I feel like I lost 20 soul pounds I've been carrying around in my backpack that I didn't need, like stones. So I mean it truly from the core of my being, and it's why it's built into the foundation of what I do, because it's absolutely essential. So I do want to leave that message, because I think it's something that we can really easily miss and we can like dismiss as like, oh, we don't really need to do that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You're going to want to do it. I'm serious when I say it's clearing big space for greatness in your world. And so energy work is absolutely pivotal. So I just want to leave that message, because it's so like, I can't emphasize enough. And when people do it, then they're like, aha, aha, I see it there. Then they know. But it's until you have that journey, you're like, what energy? I was a total skeptic. I was telling my ladies last night in my master class, like I was like the world's biggest skeptic. You're looking right at her. Chanting, weird, right? Whatever. I just was like, weird stuff. Energy work, weird. Chiropractic care. I thought that was weird until I went into, so everything we don't have any, experience in is going to look and feel uncomfortable. So if you're willing to have an open mind and try some of these things on and try different practitioners, that's how you find the sweet spot. So, again, and I laugh about it because it was like, I thought all this stuff was going to be a bunch of bunk weirdness. And you go do it and you go, oh, shit, that really works. Oh, the chiropractor helped adjust my spine. And now I don't have the hitch in my getup that was going to prevent me from hiking on a vacation, right? We really know that as we do these things, we begin to understand the difference in how we show up to our lives. I will tell you first of all, every 7 years we actually renew. And I'm sure you all know this, right? Scientifically, that your cells actually regenerate enough that every 7 years, you're actually kind of like a whole new person, which is kind of trippy. Play with that for a minute. You're really creating space for newness when you go do energy work. That's what it does. It's making space for you to have a different kind of experience. It's literally, to me, quality of life. So this isn't, again, can I survive without it? Yeah. Really, back in the day, do you think that my grandparents had any idea what energy work was? No. I again, and beautiful human beings never go do energy work. So this is not right. What I would say to you though is if you have stuff and I will guarantee you, all of us have stuff. Sorry. I hate to burst the bubble, right? All of us have stuff. We're carrying around stuff. So going in and doing these practices, it's crucial. And the cool thing is watching people have these experiences, my friends. I've been doing a couple of unique and new energy practices this week, and people are so stoked about it. And the experience of it is so profound. To have blocks and be able to go in and move those out of the way so that you can show up more fully to your life. Huge deal. One of my good friends, I'm not going to bust her hump. This is a great story. I said I was going to sign off like 5 minutes ago. So sorry. Thank you to everyone who's here. If you got comments or questions, feel free to ask. But I want to share this story because this is a really great example. Married to a gentleman, older gentleman, and has depression and was on meds, quit taking his meds. And my friend's talking about her journey with this in her marriage and being really tapped out and frustrated and fried. And she's like, I don't know what to do with him. And I love him. And I don't want to have to make a decision about my marriage, but this is really super miserable. And so we were talking about this and I was like, yeah. And so either we maybe need to take the medication, do healing work, or find some other avenue to do some healing, or else shit's going to hit the fan. And so I was just like, oh, so we talked it through. We were talking through, right, some of the things that she could do and how she could approach it and stuff like that. Because it's tough, right? I know my dad has major depression. My dad has, been on medication and for almost his entire life. And much of my pushing as a social work student, when I finally was like, oh, I have a name for what's happening for my dad. And so I have a loved one that has been through this, and I've watched it my entire life. So he sounded very much distinctly like my dad without medication. And it shows up as irritability and these other things. But we talked about some of his history and how that stuff shows up. And that's a layer that we want to dismiss. So can you take a medication? Yes, you can take a medication. If you need that in your life, by all means. I would never say don't take medication. But what I would say is that it's with the time and energy as I evolve into the worker that I am, that I come into a place of I go, I wonder if everyone that I treated needed to be on meds. If we had gone in and done this work, and if they still needed it, I would have said, go get meds. I would never look at someone, no judgment about this, truly. Okay. But I just wonder what the healing might've looked like. Had I known, had I had the energy tools right when I need them like that, I wonder what it would look like for people on their journey. Incredible. So I'm just saying that we look at, so I want to use that example because he would probably think energy work was a bunch of bunk, And so it might be harder to tap into some people and convince them that this is a thing because it sounds made up. It sounds made up. And so I get it, right? But that was a great example of someone who was in this really pivotal place. Do I do meds? Do I ignore it? If I ignore it and hope for the best, my wife might leave me. Does she want to do that? No, that's not. That's like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I know you don't. So let's talk about what we can do. Like, how can we, right? And that's the therapeutic part of my history talking. And so we just kind of dove in and it was like, how can I support you and having this conversation? How can I, right? And so I really want you to think about that's the vast majority of us. If we're never exposed to this stuff, we don't know what it is. We think it might be bullshit. We have no idea. I mean, I didn't till I started doing it myself. So I totally understand. I've been there, done that. And so again, these are the choices we get to make in our lives. I can stay where I am. I can do nothing. I mean, that is a freaking option. I would look at clients and say, an option is to do nothing here. And they look at me. I'm like, but it's true. Right? That's true too. So the choice is I can do nothing. I can stay right where I am. I can stay right where I am. I can keep doing the same thing I've been doing. I'm going to keep getting the same result. And what I would ask you is, are your results satisfying? Is your life satisfying? So do you wake up with enthusiasm, creativity, excitement, motivation, joy, like driven, right? These are the questions I would ask you. And when we're not, that's where we start to go, oh, okay, I'm going to take a look at this. And not with judgment. I'm going to have some self-awareness. We talked about this earlier. I'm going to have some self-awareness. What's going on here? What might be hanging around that's not helping me? Can I release it? Can I let go of some old things that are not serving me? Beliefs, places, experiences, jobs. My job was toxic for me. And I stayed way too long because I had old belief systems that responsible people stayed and did not quit. It was detrimental to my journey and to my well-being. Okay. Did I show up as nice as a wife, as a mom? No, I'm sure I did not. Sure, I didn't. Was I as vital? Was I as quick to laugh? No, because a client told me. So it's all of those shifts that we start to look at and go, oh, something's going on. Something is really amiss. And that's why we talk about making those lane changes. Because was I not living into my purpose, providing psychotherapy? Yeah, I was. I was put here to help people with their purpose and making meaning, helping them have transformation. That is my purpose. Was I doing it in that lane? Yes. Was it still serving me? No. That's what you want to look at. Is this serving me? I'm serving people, praise Jesus, and thank the Lord. Thank the Lord, at least that was there. But is it serving me anymore? No. And do I show up my best if it's not serving me? And the hard answer is no. It's a hard no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I should be cracking jokes, laughing, having a good time, creating content, having creativity flowing. I wake up every day. I love my life. I'm so blessed. And so to wake up every day now and not like dread Sunday, dread Monday, and then pray for Friday, been there, done that. That is not how we were meant to live our lives at all. And to get to midlife for many of us and go, is this all there is? No. Holy shit. Time, hold the phone, record screeching sound. No. We want to back up and go, I need to look again. Because if I think this is all that there is, something's wrong. Okay. So they're just our markers. They're our tells for how we want to show up and go, shit, something might be amiss here. And then start doing some work. Find a resource. Friends, it doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be me. There are a million therapists. There are a million coaches. There are a million Reiki practitioners. There are a million people out there doing different kinds of work. There's books. There's podcasts. Right? Retreats. I mean, I could sit and listen. Okay. There's no shortage of resource. It's just the ones that you want to choose. And so I really want to encourage you, if you're in that space, go out and start doing the work in little bits and pieces. It's how we all do it. And I'm going to offer up, if you can have an open mind to trying some of these energetic practices, I'm telling you, it will blow your mind. The first time I went, and I'll never forget, I told a story last night. Josh was my energy worker, my first energy worker I ever met with. Just beautiful human being, 30-year-old something guy, looked like he was ready to go hiking. Just the most at ease, chill, and I never forget the first energy session. He was like, well, you might feel a little tired. This is me driving home. Like sunbeams shooting out my face. I have no words for it. It was literally euphoric. It's euphoric. And it's because you're releasing. It's letting go of whatever's hanging on to you. So this subject, again, I probably didn't even do it justice. I was like 1 month on release. Oh my God, for like a practice we all need on the daily. So that's what you need. What I would recommend truly for every single person listening, a routine and consistent practice of release. If it's meditation, if it's sage and smudging, if it's incense, if it's meditation, energy release work, if it's singing, movement, seriously, so many ways. Yoga, dance, it's chanting, singing, just singing. There's so many ways to do this work that it's really like, it's like a buffet. You have all of the choices. And so start with the ones that feel less weird. Breath work. Oh, I missed that one. I know something's rolling around in there. What I missed, breath work. These practices are crucial. They are the things that I teach in my coaching because that's how important they are. They're literally the base I build all of my course that I have for people on, because I was like, everybody need to be doing the thing. Okay. So that's what I would send out to each of you as I culminate this month. It's been a crazy wild ride. I don't even know what happened. But here I am. And so I just want to let you know. And Chantel, thank you so much for saying that. I love you so much. And thank you for saying that. She was very sweet I was talking about my book and she was being very sweet. I'm super sorry. I was on a tirade and I'm so tired, Chantel, that I can only do like one thing at a time, legitimately. And so so that's the big message. This was a gigantic month of content. If you missed any of it, truly, here's what I'm going to say. I normally don't try to inundate you all. I'll kind of give you one task before I leave for the time that I visit with you. We're going to give you a couple. If one thing, this area of work is so profound, I'd recommend going back. Truly, go back, check out my vlogs. They're on my website. They're all right there. Go check out the vlogs, take a listen, check out the lives associated with this work, check out my book. All of it, everything that I teach, from the meditations that I go into in Insight Timer and teach every Monday morning, all of it connects. So if you're really awake and paying attention and following all the stuff I'm doing, it's linear. It's not accidental. It literally all goes together on purpose. It's how I create content. And so go in and grab all of that. There's so much stuff out there. And so truly, if you're not subscribing to my email list, get in there. I do send freebies. And people on my email list are the first ones to hear about anything that I'm doing. They get first dibs. Events, bonuses, all that stuff. That's where it lives. So please, please, please subscribe to that. And if you're interested, last call, Amazon free book. I wrote one and published it this week. I launched it. It's sitting at first in 3 categories, which is like, I am embarrassed to even say it out loud. But it's like one of those, I've had this dreamy experience all week where I feel like I'm floating. And so first in self-help, for 1 hour self-help reads, in motivational self-help, and also in cognitive psychology. No words. And it won't stay there. Right? This is it's a fleeting minute. I'm going to freaking celebrate it. We talked about celebrating ourselves last month. I'll be doing more of that. So just know there'll be more books forthcoming, but that fits beautifully with all we're talking about. And it fit beautifully with the masterclass last night, which is why I did it in a hurry. I knew I was going to do it. And then I was like, pedal to the metal. The women that are coming to my masterclass get a freebie. It's free till Saturday. It's called Release: How to Start Letting Go of Expectations. My name on it. Go into Amazon, freebie. Go download that sucker while it's free. Fuck yes, Chantel's my girl. So I encourage you to go grab that while you can for free. It was meant for the masses. It's meant to build my platform of hope and inspiration and motivate you all to do your work and to see within there's humor. I don't do anything serious. I'm sorry. You'd have to know I was like on death's door. And so truth be told, it is literally like having a conversation across from me, having coffee. And so there's humor in there. I crack jokes. Yes, I tell some serious stories. I tell a little bit of my own personal story, which is a little bit hard to read. And then I move on. You'll notice this at the beginning and then we move on. And so, right, that's not an accident either. So it's really, truly like, I want it to be something that you just feel like you're having a conversation. In this day and age, we're in a place where we need short stuff. We need short little like this. I can't believe anybody's still listening to me. Maybe there's not anybody. There's a few people here that praise Jesus. We're tapped out. We're exhausted. The pandemic, the different issues culturally that have been going on. There's so many things going on. We're literally tapped out. So what we can ingest is little bite-sized stuff. I had a big book that was in the works. I don't even know that I'm going to print it that way anymore. I've been working on it for a minute. It's been a long time, and it's a really more comprehensive, like all the lessons I learned as a clinician. It's a big daddy, and I think I'm going to have to break it down because I just don't know that where we are right now that we can do that. But I will continue with a series on how to work these levels that I actually introduce in my very first book. If you go and look at the graphic that I've created, that copyrighted here, this thing, we're going to be talking about that because that's the stages of evolution as I see it. As I see it through the layers of our work. That's how I see it. That's what's in there. And so we're going to continue to build on that as we go. So that's just number one. It's a beginner. It's a basic. I'm not going to, right. You're probably not going to go in there and go, oh my God, it's revolutionary. I mean, the way I see it might be, but it's not right. It's you've heard it before. It's just my version of it. And how I taught my clients, and I thought it was helpful. My clients felt it was helpful. So that's just like reanimating old stuff. I'm finally able to catch you live. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here, Sue. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for being in class. I just have so much gratitude for you. So I just want to send love and light to all of you. There's lots of avenues for growth, my friends. That's what I'm saying. If I'm not your cup of tea, find your cup of tea. If it's Glennon Doyle, great. If it's Rachel Hollis, great. If it's who else? I mean, Wayne Dyer, awesome. Gabby Bernstein, excellent. And so whoever it is that lights your soul on fire, that they speak right into your heart, you feel like they're talking right to you, those are your people. So whether it's book, podcast, vlogging, whatever it is, find your people and take in what they're offering. I do the very same freaking thing on my phone. If my phone wasn't attached to my Instagram, I would show you guys. I have books upon books upon books, podcast. Right? I have my incredible community that surrounds me. I've got an incredible amount of healers that I now work with that I get to enjoy, and we trade services. It's so amazing. I'm super freaking blessed. So blessed. I have no words. I am absolutely flabbergasted this week at the blessings I've been gifted. I can't even say it. I truly verklempt, kind of, honestly. And so these are the things that I would want anybody to work on. And so I want you to know where to grab different materials, freebies, right? I'm a big fan of trying to create as much content and value for people that they don't have to pay for as possible, because not everybody's in a space to be able to do that. And I would encourage you to invest in yourself. I would. Super, super important. Audible, LOL. Yep. If I get to read it someday, I'll totally do it. I would totally do an Audible, but I will also get them printed at some point. So I will have those printed at some point, not yet. I will print them and have them actually in book form because I think that's important too. So that will be down the road. So if you're like a good old, I actually like the, something in my hands. I know somebody last night I was talking to, one of my guests in my masterclass was like, I love the actual book. I'm like, I know, me too. So that'll be coming. But I just wanted to let you all know what's going on and leave you with this really, this is a lot. So we just this was a lot, fire hose style on summoning up, right? All of this energy around release this month. And again, pivotal habit. It changed my world. Meditation changed my world. Energy work changed my world. And consistent practices in these things changed my world. Not zero bullshit. You can tell. So I am selling you the very things that I have done, and it's my journey, and it's also the journey I've seen so many people take and have success. So this is my own form of research, right? So I'm speaking from the heart when I say that those are the things that I truly rely on and I believe in wholeheartedly. Now, will I change lanes again? Guaranteed. This is the journey today, friends. This is lighting me up right now. So that's how I know I'm on fire. I'm in the right space because I'm on fire. Awesome. And then I'll pivot again. I'm a professional voice actress. I could read it for you. You could. You totally could. One of these days, sister, if I do some long thing and I don't got time, you're first in. Sue has a beautiful voice, actually. So just saying. And she does. And she's super expressive. Shocking to no one that knows her. Like my facial expression is Sue's voice. She's expressive in things, but boy, that voice really carries it incredibly. So I just want to send you off for the week. Next week, thanks. We're going to switch gears. So we're switching on. So pretty heavy, lots of brain work, awareness work this month. So I kind of feel like we need to. So moving into the idea of thanks and gratitude for the month of November, which is perfectly fitting and surprises no one. So that's what we're going to be working on. So show up next week for some new content, switching gears a little bit. That'll feel great. If you want to continue your work, though, in that release area, I really encourage you to go grab that book. Continue to go in, grab the vlogs. All that stuff lives on my website in Purpose Tools. If you go on my website, it's right there. All of them. Go tap in. Dude, you can spend a lot of time, bless your heart, listening to all of them. But all those months. So if a month really resonates, that's why they're there. It's like a card catalog. That aged me by a whole shit ton, eh? Right? And anybody from the library, kids, and you hold the whole big little drawer you pull out and the 8 million things. Okay. That's what it really is. And so is all this free content. Like, go grab what you need, friends. Peruse, shop, pick the things you need to listen to and grow into. That's why they're there. So that's why I create and why I put stuff out for all of you guys, because I want you to have access to that stuff. So, all right, my loves, I am so grateful for you hanging out with me this long. This was, so today, where I'm going to send you is I would love for you to go get that Amazon book for free. It's Saturday. It's going to turn over at what time? I don't know, but it's Saturday. It turns over to being 99 cents. I mean, don't break the bank, right? So trust me, I'm not going to be a gazillionaire from this book. So, won't be making $1 billion, but that's fine. I really wanted it to be accessible to everybody. And so that's why we did what we did. That's why we made the decision we did. So blessings, love, and light to all of you. Have an incredible week. I look forward to sharing next month with you all in that vibration of thanks. I have a lot to give for thanks this month. So ironically, I was paving my own path without even knowing I was. So I have lots of thanks to give, and I've been trying to be really showing up to that gratitude for people who have been showing up and so supportive on this journey for me. So looking forward to that. So until next time, my friends, sending you out blessings, love, and light. Can't even talk anymore. So tired. And we will be back around next week on Thursday as normal. We'll be in here doing a live chat about thanks. And as always, if you've got questions, comments, please leave them in the chat. I always will go back and answer. Always. That's how I work. So if you've got a question or comment, I'll always come back and capture that, make sure that I'm addressing something if you have one. But otherwise, just grateful for you showing up and sharing space with me today. So until next time, my friends, this is Jen supporting you on your path to purpose. Take care, everybody.